In this video, I'll be taking a closer look at the Harvey Sliding Crosscut table, Compass ST1500. I'll be pairing that with my SawStop Professional Cabinet Saw, the 36-inch version. When I first saw this unit at the Harvey booth at the IWF in Atlanta in 2024, I was blown away. It looked really good. The quality of the individual parts like the fence and the flip stops, but also the unit as a whole, it just radiates quality. It's solid. And when I was talking to one of the representatives, they told me that they used to build this unit for the Sawstop. Well, I've seen the Sawstop and I wasn't as impressed with it at the time as this unit. So in this video, I'll go over the whole process from purchase to putting it together into use. The way it was packaged, the unboxing, the assembly, the problems that I ran into. And I did run into some problems that I will share with you later. And then I'll finish this video with some final thoughts. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up this box that I got here from Harvey containing my new crosscut table saw attachment, and let's see what's in it. First of all, we're going to find, I'm going to assume the user manual and maybe something about the warranty or something. Then there's a pretty large box in here with, I think, most of the assembly. As you can see, these are really well packaged in foam, so there's no chance that this all comes out. I'm going to guess these are the legs of the assembly, and they have nicely separated with some cardboard. We have the tools, just in case you know, you didn't already have a whole set of Allen wrenches, and you'll have a full set here. And then there's the main part, the assembly, the very heavy. Oh man, this is sitting in here real nice and tight. This is, yeah, we'll have to put that aside for now. But nice. And then there's another piece of cardboard. You see here a bracket with all the hardware that you need to mount it. We're going to figure that out here in a minute. And then there's the very nice holding clamp. This is just a very pretty, very nice piece of machinery, really nicely done. And then we have another set of the sliding assembly. So very nicely packaged. As you can see, yeah, Harvey did an excellent job in putting this together. Okay, I want to go over this with you because it wasn't really clear for me when I purchased this attachment. But as you can see on the side here, this is the side that will go against the table saw. And what they've done here at Harvey is actually really smart. Let me try and zoom in and see if you can see this. But there's multiple hole configurations for the different types of saw. So if you have a Harvey, a Grizzly, or a Shop Fox, then there's holes here that correspond to those saws. Or if you have a SawStop, the ICS, the Industrial Cabinet Saw, or like I do, the Professional Cabinet Saw, then there are holes already pre-drilled for that saw. And in case of the SawStop, really nice actually from Harvey, they gave you two options to mount it, either standard or flush. Flush meaning it is more aligned with the front of the saw, so it don't stick out that much, and it's easier to reach. So that's the one that I'm going to go for. So the first step in the assembly is to mount the legs of this assembly to the sliding assembly. Again, I continue to be impressed with like how nice this looks. This is really, really well done. So you can open this up a little bit, and it slides into the T-channel here at the bottom, and you can just slide it in there, and then hand tighten it to until it's tight. So that's this. This is actually really easy. Everybody can do that. We have another one here. That's it. And this is the lock to let the whole entrapment slide.
Yeah, there's a very small amount of thread sticking out on this side, so you just have enough to get a first bite and then tighten it up.
Okay, I did the first rough assembly, and I attached it to the table saw, and then I decided to check on the exact assembly because the manual is very specific, and it says it has to sit 2/100ths of an inch higher than the top of the table saw. And actually it needs to be exactly parallel as well, because otherwise it might be binding the workpiece and kickback. So we measured here, so I set this on the top to 0, and I'm going to move it to the table saw. That's exactly what we want to see. This is perfect. Okay, so for the next step, we're going to assemble the extension table to the sliding attachment. And they gave us 2 bolts, very clear. They're like the same type that you put in the T-slot here. So that should be very straightforward and very easy. So this is a little bit harder than I thought, because once you attach this to the bolts, it won't slide anymore. It locks itself. So you have to really line it up with the front, and then line the bolt up with the holes, and then you can attach it. This is as close as I can get. Okay, so the next step is to attach the fence. So you want to have as much cutting space here. So you want the fence to be as far back as possible. So we're going to slide it. So this little nut here is like literally flush with the rear of the slider. So we can tighten this nut by rotating it counterclockwise. So we go to the left. That's how we're going to tighten this. To attach the knob, we will have to take this off for a minute. Rotate this to the left as far as we can. This knob goes through here, and this goes into this T-slot. So we're going to come from the bottom up. Once we have it in there, we can now come in with the knob and screw that in. Actually, once you figured out how to do it, it's actually very simple. The next step is to make sure that the fence is going to line up nicely with the saw blade. We need the 5mm wrench. Loosen these two bolts. Ah, there you go. Okay. Okay, so this is a bit flimsy. Not sure I like that. 2 1/8 of an inch is how much the fence needs to be away from the blade. Two inches and 1/8. So this is day 2. We have to come back to this because when I was done with the assembly yesterday and I put the fence on it, I don't know if you can see here, there's a gap between the fence and the saw top, and that's fine. That's like a couple of millimeters. Now you go all the way to the right and you see there's no gap. As a matter of fact, if you pull this back, you can hear it, and as soon as I put it, slide it back and forth, you can hear it make a very significant bump. Unfortunately, that means that we have to remove the fence from the sliding attachment and basically go back on our steps. So if I take this machine straight edge and I put it flush with the top of the attachment, and then you can see there's a little gap here, so that's good because we need it like the 2/100 of an inch. So we move this way, and already here, a couple inches in, you can see that we're touching the tabletop. And at this point, I'm already starting to push it up, and we're seeing a little gap down there, which means that this attachment here is sitting not in the same plane as the tabletop, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to make it sit plane. So my idea is to take these little wedges that I took from like a tiling kit for putting the tiles in place in the bathroom. They're nice hard plastic wedges with a very sharp pointy edge, and I'm planning to stick them in right here to create a tiny little bit of an angle between the sliding attachment and the table, so that hopefully it will tilt a little bit back that way, and we'll have to see if we can get it in the same plane. Unfortunately, it's going to be trial and error, so it's not going to be easy. We're going to see how we're going to do this because we also have to make sure we still stay at the same height. Okay, after some fiddling around and putting the shims in here, I basically tilted the whole attachment a little bit, and now it actually runs very smooth. It's actually very impressive. So if you look at from the top, you can see I installed 4 shims. You'll see the little yellow dots, so I basically stuck them in here. And so there's really only one step left for us to do, and that is to rotate this end plate or support plate. There you go. So I'm done with the installation of this fence. It finally runs the way I want it. It's very smooth. So I've also attached the clamp here. It was very nice machined. I mean, you gotta give it to Harvey. It looks solid, it feels solid, it's all metal. So the maximum length of this stop here is 60 inches. So we can do a cut that is 60 inches from the backstop to the blade. And it's a pretty long distance to cut accurately and repeatedly. It does well, cuts what as we expect. As you can see, it's very smooth. There's no friction. Um, the whole system is just as smooth as you can expect it to be. And we'll put it back in here. And there's one other element that I wanted to point out that I found a little bit confusing at first, because there's this little lever here that says lock. So the way I took it is that if I set the angle on the fence, that I then can lock it in place and I won't be able to change the angle. What this knob does is, this lever does is, it basically holds this button. So once this button is engaged, it will lock in place at predefined stops at 30 and 22 and 0. So if I lock this, now it won't stop at the predefined stop. So the flip stop that sits on top of the fence is a little piece of engineering that just stands out from anything else I've seen in the market so far. It's very highly accurately machined. It looks amazing, and it allows you to make adjustments as small as 1/1000th of an inch. This little jewel here just is an eye catcher. So now we've come this far and we put it all together, and I ran it for the first time. So this is the point that I will be sharing with you my impressions and my final thoughts on this unit. First, let me start with the comparison SawStop versus Harvey. I think, you know, if I look at the quality that I've seen from SawStop and the, the quality that I've received from Harvey, I think I made the right decision. Then, of course, there's the price. Harvey is a little bit cheaper than the SawStop, which makes it actually an easier decision for me. The compatibility, as you can see, I have been able to attach this very easily to my professional cabinet saw from SawStop. It was pre-manufactured, the holes were in the right spot, the hardware fit. It was really very easy to do. I really like the accessories that Harvey has added in this box with this unit. Stuff like the clamp down, stuff like the flip stop, really very well thought out, very precise, very accurate. And those little things matter and make the unit as a whole even more usable. And it will allow me to make better quality work. Now, with regards to the user manual, this is one area where I think SawStop has the advantage. My experience with SawStop, their user manuals are amazing. They're really, really good. Now, don't get me wrong, Harvey's user manual isn't bad. It really helped me to put this thing together and make me understand what I had to do. But at a couple of crucial points where the alignment of the table compared to the being in the same plane as the tabletop of my saw, that's where they dropped the ball. They did mention something about shims and how to look at it, but they didn't really explain to me why I needed to do that and what problems I would run into later on if I got it wrong. So I ended up having to disassemble half of the unit. I would have liked that Harvey would have fixed that by making it clearer in the manual, and as well give me some shims or some tools to make those alignments easier. As a matter of fact, I think with 2 or 3 little screws in the assembly itself, those adjustments could have been made very easy. And this is one little point where I think the Harvey unit could still improve. From the moment I put my order in until the moment it arrived at my home was just a little over a week, so really nothing to complain about. However, I ordered multiple tools and multiple machines from Harvey at the same time. I wrote them an email asking them, can we maybe bundle the shipment and therewith save on shipping costs? Because, mind you, those were pretty high. Unfortunately, that was not possible, even though everything arrived in one pallet, in one container. So that's a little downside to this. They had to charge shipping, even though it came as one unit. Now let's talk about usability. Once this unit was set up properly, and I did a few test cuts, this is really an enhancement of my capabilities with my table saw. I use it a lot, and I think I'm going to use it even more. The advantages are, because of those flip stops, and because of the sliding table saw, I can now use it in place of sometimes using my miter saw. The repeatability and the speed with which I can do these things will improve my workflow and therewith the quality of my work. All right, before I share with you my final recommendations and final thoughts, just remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Now, what are some things that you need to look out for? I have noticed in the last couple of months when I was looking for this unit that Harvey prices will fluctuate a couple of $100s. So it really pays off to keep your eyes open and wait for the right time to make sure you get the best price possible. For me, the improved workflow and the improved accuracy and repeatability of the work that I do is absolutely worth it. Could I do it without? Yes, I could. I've done it for many years. I'm very happy I have this, and I'll keep you posted how it's going to change the projects that I make and the work that I do. Let me know if you have questions about this video. I'm happy to see them in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.